Hi, I'm Fred Satilli. This is episode 14 for the Voters Union of Accountability Nation. We're going to talk today about college material. I'm going to read my thoughts on the subject, so here we go. All of us are caretakers. We all want to make a better world. But what does that better world look like? There are two answers to this question, and they have their roots in human nature. Fortunately, we have both kind of people, the kind of person that can make both answers work. I will give you my illustration in a classic model. I will speak in generalities. For those of you who can't handle this, you're too obstructive to carry on a constructive conversation. We will get back to this point later, but suffice it to say that problems are not solved by people who are not cooperative enough to listen without being offended by the very process of conversation. So shut up and listen, or go out and try to find maturity. I wish you luck. The classic model is the classic family. You have a father who protects the family by building a strong fortress, which is in our world is a financial fortress. He is a builder. He fortifies with a castle and weapons to keep the wolf from the door. This is how he expresses his love. He wants his children to be brave. You have a mother who protects the family by giving them emotional security. She protects their children from fear. This is how she expresses her love. She wants them to be safe. Brave and secure. Two different views of a better world and what it looks like. Now we'll take that to the macro model. We have the politically conservative. These are the daddies. Whether the daddies are men or women, they are builders. They express their love by productivity and construction. Advances in medicine and engineering make sense to them because they express their love with those gifts. Whether the mommies are men or women, they are nurturers. They express their love by compassion. They don't care too much about progress. They care about feelings. Both of those things are important. The builders are highly competitive. It's how they measure success. The nurturers are there to make sure that the intensity of the competition does not destroy the individual. There's nothing worse than a person at the top of their game committing suicide because their feelings were ignored. We obviously need both kinds of people. Both are equally valuable. They always have been. The human animal needs both to be human. Otherwise, we become monsters or babies. Balance is what's healthy. Now, people who are in the school business in an effort to make more money have created a cultural environment where success has been measured by scholastic credentials. These credentials can only be awarded by a school. They create two classes of people, those who went to college and those who did not. They create a culture where everybody was taught that college was essential for doing well. You won't amount to much if you don't go to college. People think that. A lot of people think that. The problem is, most people are not college material. College is for people with an academic aptitude. In other words, it's for the studious. College is for the competitive. College is for those people who were compelled by their nature to achieve and can see through their college experience. Most people are not like this. Most people are content to be safe. College is for builders. The overwhelming bulk of society is composed of nice people who simply want to be content. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It is most of us. Thank God most of us are not competitive. Much as I love builders, a society that is maybe too competitive would probably be a living hell. Just imagine the pressure on all the time. I don't want to live with that. But there are small groups of us who do. They are exceptional, not the norm. I have pointed out before that if you know what the word average means, you will realize that half of us are below average in conscientiousness, intelligence, and ambition. I personally have a huge time management problem, and sometimes I'm pretty lazy. Those of us in this category are not college material. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't continue to read and experience things to enhance our growth. It just means that we are not going to find happiness in a highly competitive environment that will leave us with an unjustified financial debt. But the colleges want more business, so they want all of us to go. Really, it's society abuse. And they know this. After all, they're educated, and this is simple. For reasons of greed, they have sold a bill of goods to the ignorant. Now, they have a bunch of students who cannot possibly deal with advanced mathematics, biology, chemistry, electronics, mechanics, linguistics, literature, music, and art studies, which take a tremendous commitment, believe me, or philosophical abstraction. But they have to give them a degree in something. Well, they paid their money. So they create a gigantic genre of useless courses. They focus on contrived social issues. Since organically or naturally, if you want to put it that way, social issues are handled by human nature. The mommy and daddy nature of mankind provides people who have natural aptitude to solve the needs of all of us. Daddy says, be bold and conquer. Mommy says, take it easy and don't get hurt. Some of us respond more to one or the other of these philosophies. Some of us are too bold and we're killed. Some of us are too secure and live an unfulfilled life. Again, balance. But some people are not capable of balance. The needle on the meter of their nature goes far to the left or far to the right, and that's okay. Everybody's need for safety and their risk tolerance is different. Well, the colleges are swelled with unproductive people who have a huge need for safety. The faux professors capitalize on this. The students see the accomplishments of the productive and realize that they can never aspire to compete. The professors tell them that the competition is unfair. The giant mass of people who were bamboozled into attending a world in which they do not belong cry out. They know they don't measure up. They know that their scholastic major in gender studies is bullshit, but they must defend it. It's all they have. And the reality of that is really hard to swallow. Where they would have been happy and content is in a simple job. They're forced to confront the realization that they are not rocket scientists and never will be. This is why I call it society abuse. You're making one standard for every person. It's beyond bad. Just imagine if I was forced to become a professional boxer year after year in a gym where there were guys who, if I ever got in the ring with them, would bash my brains out. Imagine my terror. How long would it take for me to scream, "This isn't fair"? That is what colleges have done to more than half of society. They're bullies. They compel us to do something that we're not cut out for, and they make us pay cash for it. So, what has happened? It used to be that the two kinds of people were builders and nurturers. But unqualified people went to college. They needed to be nurtured. They're the kind of us that are not world beaters. Most people need to be secure. Most people are not crazy risk takers. Most people express their love by caring for each other. A small percentage of people express their love by taking a big risk for big reward. They enjoy facing the competition. It's the nature of the animal in them. They must do this. They are by far the exception. They create massive strides forward for mankind, usually at great personal sacrifice. Some toss security aside and sacrifice their lives. If that's not love, what is? Those in need of security were put in a competitive environment. It's not natural for them to be there. They want to run from there. They all screamed, "It's not fair," and they were right. Well, something was wrong. But they weren't allowed to say what it was. It was taboo to say, "You're not college material." They were confused, which college staff took advantage of. They were told that mommy and daddy was an incorrect concept, but something was still bad about not being competitive. If they couldn't be builders, they figured they must be the opposite of builders. They must. So they created a new category, a category not from nature, an unnatural category. They had to be the opposite of builders, who were the source of their hard-felt angst. They would become destroyers. That is what the colleges have created. And that is where we are today. Thank you.